All forms of energy we use have impacts. What's great about wind is it's 100% clean, renewable energy, and it's really one of the most compatible with animals and humans today. Mitigation is really about reducing or minimizing impacts, whether it's from preventing loss of habitat, preventing direct mortality from birds and bats, or preventing habitat fragmentation. And we also try and look into using setbacks for turbines to reduce noise impacts, also proper siting of turbines to reduce visual impacts as well. I think the goal of Pattern is to really build the most environmentally benign site that we can while still harnessing a strong wind resource. And that can be tough and challenging, but you have to get really creative and innovative when it comes to mitigation strategies.
Pattern is a leader in wind technology. We're always looking for advances and how we can responsibly lead the industry to minimizing the impact of our wind farm on the environment.
An example of that was a project we did a few years ago in which we repowered an existing wind project and we reduced the number of fatalities of birds by over 80%. And we're very proud of that.
The Gulf Wind site, which we have, is a 300 megawatt project on the Texas Gulf Coast, where the opponents, when we were building that, were proclaiming we were going to have this devastating effect on wildlife, and we're just going to have massive mortality of avian species. And we said, no, we don't think so, because we had done years of pre-construction studies with our radar systems, and we really were paying attention, and we thought we were right based on our data. We noticed that we were having a little bit more bad activity than we thought we were going to have. And we voluntarily decided that we were going to change the speed of our turbines when they came on at night, because we felt that that was going to have a reduction of mortality of bats, even though they're not protected under the Migratory Treaty Act. And so we implemented this strategy and have had a 60% reduction in mortality. We had an issue with bighorn sheep in Southern California. We worked like crazy to invent a strategy using radar with a night vision camera that can see 3 miles in pitch black to photograph if any possibility that a bighorn sheep would come across our project. We would know where it was, when it was, and be able to follow it, track it. And by the way, we never thought we'd see one, and we still haven't seen one. Our company is the first company who ever put together a solution integrating radar with the controls, direct controls of the turbines.
We use radar to look for migratory birds out way ahead of our project, so we know when they're coming into our project area and we can shut turbines down.
Birds can see and avoid obstructions in high visibility. The low visibility events are comprised of fog, rain, and any other types of precipitation. We're also concerned about cold frontal passages as they come through the site, because as migrating birds will be moving through the area, and they're likely to drop down to the site and wait till conditions are better for movement. My main role is to provide daily weather forecasts during fall and spring migration. What I'm trying to do is give alerts to the facility managers as well as the operators of the project to say, hey, look, we may be shutting down our turbines during this specific time period because there's a cold front coming through during migration, or because there is fog developing during these times.
We realize that we're in the wind business. And as you know, these things are very tall. They stick up in the air 420 feet in the air, and they spin. And we do realize that there is mortality. We know there is. As a matter of fact, we know there is for almost every kind of thing that's ever been put up by man. Since we do have an impact, even though we consider it a very minor and not a biologically significant impact, we feel as a company that we want to continue to give back in areas where we know we can be helpful. This year we gave $100,000 to Tri-State Bird Rescue for cleaning up birds with the Gulf oil disaster.
Modern life is compatible with a good sound environment. And for me, I want my kids and their kids' kids to have the environment that I grew up with, which was clean water, clean air, clean land, and access to beautiful places.
Pattern is committed to doing things in a responsible way and to the greatest extent possible minimizing our impacts. We also understand that when we put in a wind farm, we are now a neighbor for a very, very long time, and we take that responsibility very seriously.